Okay, welcome back to Finance Bro. This is our next episode. Today we'll be talking about something that is lingering in a lot of people's mind, particularly people who are always thinking about is property a good for investment. So today the topic is landed property really the ultimate goal?
Yes.
So in Singapore, there's this idea, Simon. They call it the property ladder, or very often you hear this thing called asset progression.
Oh, I love it, man.
So then the question is this, or rather the format is this: you start with HDB, you upgrade the condo, and then finally the landed property.
That's right. Like if you make it in life, you must stay in landed, right? Just like if you make it in life, you must wear Rolex as well. Yeah. So, but there's a question that we want to ask all the listeners today.
Yeah. So is landed property actually the ultimate financial goal?
Or is it just the most expensive lifestyle upgrade?
Yeah. So why everybody thinks landed equates to success? We have to be very honest first. And when you think about why people want landed, then you understand why they buy. So first is usually obviously about space. You have obviously full privacy. No neighbors upstairs, stomping, smoking, and you can renovate the whole entire house.
That's right. Yeah. So in Singapore, it also signals something. When you stay in landed, your status is different. Your wealth status is
More
also different. More atas. And stability as well, because land supply is very small. So we know that Singapore is a small space. There's only 5% of the Singapore housing is landed. Yeah, so if you achieve that, it's like exclusive and limited edition kind of thing.
So psychologically, people see landed as I make it in life.
Yeah, so today we give you some financial reality check. Okay, so we talk about numbers. Okay, so right now, average landed houses is about 3 million to 6 million easily. And what we are seeing 3 million, right? 3 million right now, condo price also 3 million. So 3 million is usually the land size is the smallest, about 900 square feet, maybe.
Also maybe not newest, the very, very, very old ones.
Yeah. Then you have to do a renovation. But anyway, that's 3 million, you still buy the land. Okay, so if you are buying a 3 million landed, your down payment is about 1 million plus. With all the stamp duty, the agent fee, everything. So you have to fork out $1 million plus first.
And for to be more realistic also, if you were to buy a land at this price, it's very likely you have to spend money to renovate the house. Without even tearing down a house, it can cost tremendously a lot.
That's right.
And if you were to tear down a whole house, rebuild it and renovate it, it's going to cost a lot. It can go up to maybe above $2 million.
Oh,
so
yes,
when you think about the entirety of the cost, it's not 3 million anymore, it's maybe 5 million.
Yep.
So this is the flip side. The opportunity cost is that when you take $1 million and down pay versus if now today you take $1 million and you invest it in the stock market at 8% for the next 25 years, this amount eventually compounds and snowball into this sum, which is about $6 or $7 million. So when people buy landed early, they are putting a huge amount of wealth into one asset class called property.
That's right. Yeah. So we have different asset class, and property is just one of them. And so a lot of people buy landed. They tell you about all the good things. This landed property I have can grow up to a certain amount. I make a few meals from there. But they also don't talk about the maintenance side as well. So everything is on you right now because you own the house, you own the land. Okay. So if there's a roof leak, imagine one day it rains very heavily, and then suddenly your top floor starts to be like a pond. Then that's where things start to happen. Because I really hear before, I think a roof repair costs at least 5-digit number.
And that is not your HDB problem, that is not your MCST problem, that is your own problem.
Your own problem, yeah. Or then still got painting. You see your house, suddenly the paint feels very old. You need to do a repaint. Repaint also costs a lot of money as well. Yeah. And then of course there's different insect, termite, pests, snakes,
rats,
monkey, rats, whatsoever. So all that you need to find pest buster, then they come in also, they will charge you about. Yes. So of course plumbing issue, if let's say you buy a very old house and you never really renovate because you don't really have that cash to do that, you pay the $1 million down payment, and then you say 随便租. But when you stay about 1 year or 2 years and things happen, you cannot flush the toilet or die. So plumbing issue can be also quite expensive, especially all the pipes are older already. Yeah. So that cost, that kind of maintenance cost easily will roll and also eat into your cash flow as well.
Yep. Hey, but then Simon, Then why do all the rich people still buy landed?
That was very interesting. So, the answer is simple and not very simple actually. They didn't buy landed to become rich. Yeah. So they actually bought landed when they are rich already. Yeah. So maybe they are like, the business owner, maybe, they have other things that make them rich first, and then they start to think, maybe I can improve one of my asset class, which is property. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the important point is that for those people who already make it in life, whether is it they build their goal from their businesses, or they are very high up in the management level in the corporate world, and they stay invested in other asset classes. They build the wealth, then they buy property. When they look at landed property, right, it's actually more like a wealth storage.
That's right.
Than a growth engine. It's not meant for them to grow lah. It's meant for them to store the wealth. So basically, to a lot of these people, stock and also stock is like to grow wealth, right? Businesses is to create wealth, and the landed property is actually to store the wealth lah.
That's right.
So it's like a vault lah. Think of it like, rich people make the bucket of gold already, lock it in the vault called freehold landed property.
Yep. So, and also I think point number 2 is that Singapore land is very scarce lah. So if you read newspaper, all those rich people from all over the world, especially China, I guess, they start to come into Singapore to buy property because our land is scarce lah. That's the unique point about Singapore lah.
Yep.
Yeah. So when something is scarce, things will appreciate. So in Singapore, land is extremely limited, especially like what I mentioned. There's only 5% of Singapore housing is landed lah.
Yeah.
So you will definitely appreciate that. So when the population grow, your wealth grow, land supplies never really grow. Okay. So over a long time, the land will appreciate. So they store it in terms of like a storing of wealth.
And the next point is that it's actually a generational asset class, because a lot of these rich family, they think long term.
Yep.
Very far actually, not just in my immediate lifetime, but my children's and children's lifetime, how some of these assets will actually continue to pass down as a form of legacy. So they ask, what can I pass to my children and even to their children? And the landed property work well in this regard because it is a vault, right?
Yep.
And because it's freehold, you can always rebuild it. You can always pass it down generation down, and the land never expires. And there's all emotional value, like you can say this house was left by my great Akong, and today we're still living in this property.
And history inside.
So some landed homes stay. Family can stay there for as long as 50, 80 years.
Generations after generations.
Yeah.
And then last point is of course lifestyle lah. So if wealthy people, they have lifestyle as well, of course lah, right? They earn a little bit more. They also want a better lifestyle. They want garden, can do some gardening when they are break time. They want bigger space. They want privacy. They want some freedom to rebuild. Like for example, right now, my kids maybe have their own children. I also want my kids to stay with me. Maybe I rebuild the whole house, add one more level, so everybody can stay together. I think that's nice.
Yeah.
And also, I think when rich people, they have bigger networks. They want party as well. Some gatherings. Just like Chinese New Year just passed, right? Imagine your house is big enough to hold so many people together. I think that's a very nice feeling as well. Yeah. So at that stage of life, it's not about ROI anymore, it's about quality of living. Yeah.
So the biggest mistake, or the big mistake many people make, right, is actually where they get this wrong. They see rich people living in landed, so they assume naturally landed property is the strategy to get rich. But actually, landed property is usually the reward of their hard work in their own work and other forms of investments and whatnot.
Yeah. So just a reminder that many wealthy people actually first build their wealth through businesses, through equities, through investments. Then later on, they see that maybe landed is a lifestyle asset.
So, in conclusion, is landed property good?
Yes, I think so.
But is it the ultimate goal?
Not necessary.
Why not?
Yeah, I feel that ultimately it's all about cash flow lah. Imagine if, let's say, you earn this amount of money and maybe 80% of your combined income is actually thrown into one property, or rather one asset class property. I think that gives you some stress at some point of time. If your career is not doing well, if you're unhappy with your boss, if your boss changed, right now the new boss doesn't really trust you anymore, you find that your job is actually not very secure anymore. That gives you extra stress, which I think is not very desirable.
Yep. So the real ultimate goal is financial freedom, really, where your investment grow, your cash flow is strong, and your lifestyle is also sustainable, which is very important.
Yeah, so if you want to go landed, just go for it. Yeah, but don't make landed the thing that stops you from building a wealth.
Yeah. So here again, rich people don't buy landed to become rich.
They buy landed because their investment already made them rich.
Yeah. So I guess this episode helps should help you to have a better perspective in an objective fashion lah, to know that as and when would you should you really consider buying a landed property. I think today there are more people who enjoy not just material ownership but also experiences in life. I mean, younger generations are always talking about experiences. They want to travel the world and stuff like that. We never graduated with a graduation trip. Today people are planning for trips, and these are all experiences that people care more than the previous generations, right? So I think if you are from this generation and you appreciate a lot of this exposure, your freedom, right, then the last thing you want is to lock yourself in property, especially if you cannot sustain very well. Should there be any crisis.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, but of course, on the flip side, if you know you are a very smart and financial savvy and business entrepreneurial person, then if you're making a good lot of money, then yeah, by all means you should buy a landed property because it's scarce.
Yep.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, don't throw all your money into one asset class. Diversify it. Yeah. Just in case things happen, at least you're not so bad. Yeah.
Yep. So with that, we hope that all of us can buy landed.
Yeah.
Because we are rich, then we buy landed.
As a reward.
Yeah. So with that, signing off.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.